Let's do this then. Let's do this, people. Welcome back to the channel. KG's here. It is match reaction time. Wow, seen some names in the chat I haven't seen in a very, very long time. Wow, amazing how some people turn up when we lose a game. Crazy how that works. But look, we're going to speak about this today. I don't even know where to start with this today, but we're going to speak about this. Portsmouth 1, Leeds United 0. There's just so many things that went wrong today, from the starting lineup to in-game. Portsmouth, let me just say this out the way because I know I'm going to forget during the stream. They're well worth their win today. They were probably the better team overall, which is damning within itself. They should never be the better team against this team. I mean, it did feel like, and I mean, just listening to the reaction at the end, like it was a cup final for them, but I'm not being that bitter fan. I just mean it sounded like it was huge for them, and fair play to them. But we didn't want it enough either. Didn't want it enough. And it just makes the work against Sunderland and Sheffield United almost seem worthless in the end. And listen, some of you were saying to me, listen, that's not it with Leeds. And I know this, we've been here before, but you just think, no, with the mental strength of this group that we've seen this season, maybe in the unbeaten run, that we should be okay. And we fluffed it today. Listen, we're still top. You know, we are still top at this point. Home match against Millwall on Wednesday, but these two results have been appalling. And there was even someone yesterday on the preview saying that the draw against West Brom wasn't bad. It was terrible. It was a terrible result. We should never be drawing against West Brom. Never. You know, and we shouldn't be beaten by Portsmouth. We haven't beaten Portsmouth this season. That's an incredible stat. Let me just say that's an incredible stat. Portsmouth have taken 4 points off us this season. That's an incredible stat. Incredible. Thank you to Deshaun and Perrit House for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, guys. And listen, I had a great day yesterday, but it's back to reality today. I had a brilliant day down in London, back home. But yeah, let's talk about this game. Let's talk about this game. Portsmouth, good for their win. Good for their win. Tom saying here, credit to their keeper. Yeah, he had a good game. And for me now, all I'm going to see now, and I know I'm going to see it from fans that only watch Leeds United, we should go and sign Schmidt. No, we shouldn't. He had a good game today, but it was just some of it was from our own doing. The finishing today was absolutely atrocious, and we're going to have to talk about it. Absolutely atrocious. I cannot believe it. If there's one person you'd want those chances to fall to today, it's Joel. And he absolutely fluffed both of them. Hall of shame performance. Hall of shame. But he ain't alone. He ain't alone. So let's get into it. First of all, we got to go with our starting lineup. And in the preview, people, I said, you have to change it. You have to make a couple of changes because there's some players that are just out of form. It's not that they're being bad all season. Nowhere near it. But over the last few games, the performances have dipped. So that's when you go into your squad and you replace that quality with more quality and see if those players on the bench are hungry to get that shirt and keep it and make it a tussle to get it off him. He went, apart from the Gruev change, which I anticipated he'd do away from home, he went with the same front four, and I could not disagree more. I was hoping that when I saw it that Solomon or Brendan would come up with something and you go, I disagree with it, but look, they came up with the goods. They didn't. And even Manuel today, the one pullback that he did for Peru was nice. That was a good moment. But again, it was a subpar performance from what we've seen from Manuel when we know the heights he can hit and has hit in this division. It was another one. Brendan, another ghost performance from him. Like he got subbed off early again, and you would never, was he on the pitch? You know what I mean? It's another one of these where Farker had to make changes for the betterment of the squad. Because if you're Ramazani, Nanto, looking at this now, you're thinking, well, this is another performance where two of them haven't really performed that well, and they're still starting the games. What else can we do? It's one of those. That's the other side of football that people don't think of in terms of the squad morale. It can kill morale a bit as well, where you're going, okay, I'm waiting for my opportunity. I know Solomon is hot. I know Brendan's done really well, but lately they're not doing so well. So maybe I'll get a start. No start for them. No start. And you know what? We'll probably see Brendan start again on Wednesday, and he shouldn't. He shouldn't. And for any of the American fans coming in, I've given Brendan all his props. Go through the match reactions when he's done well. But the last few games have been absolutely woeful from Brendan. We may have been playing with 10 men in the last few games. Solomon, you know he's got quality on his day, but it hasn't been there lately. So put Ramazani in. That's what you've got your squad for. Tanaka, terrible performance. Absolutely terrible from Tanaka today. Yet again, let me just say this because everyone with me, oh, you hate Tanaka? Nope. I've given Tanaka all the props in the world this season, but he had a shocking game today. He was out muscled. The stuff that he's usually good at in the defensive zone, he wasn't doing very well today. Portsmouth had the better of Tanaka. He was losing the ball a lot. He wasn't staying with his runners a lot either today. It was an absolute terrible performance from Tanaka. Bogle, no one's bigged up Bogle more than me, but he was put on toast by the lesser Murphy brother today. Like there was just so much wrong today. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start, begin, finish, middle, but I'm just going to try and go through it. Bogle, that was the worst performance of the season for him. And Bogle is one that's had an incredibly high standard. And I think he got took off for two reasons. I think it was one, because he wasn't having a good game against Murphy, and two, just in case frustration boiled over with Jaden and he got that silly yellow card just due to being frustrated, then he'll be out for a couple of games. So I think that's the reason why. Jaden will go again against Millwall, no problem, and as will Tanaka, but you've got to change that front four up in the next game. It has to be. It's just got to be through form alone. Injuries, it doesn't matter. Has to be through form alone. Give Ramazani Nonto a chance. Okay, we're going to go into. I've put a poll in the chat. I put a poll in the chat. Let me let that poll run a little bit longer. First of all, there's another point. Referee missed a blatant penalty call. Now, I don't like to speak about the refereeing bit a lot because I always say control your controllables. But the referee had a clear view of Richie just kicking James and no penalty. Absolutely abysmal call. And he's usually a decent ref as well, that guy that looks like Brendan Fraser. He's been pretty decent, but today, nah, that was a clear penalty. But I'm not going to go on that because the way Joel was finishing today, he might have missed it, one of those. But it should have been a penalty today. I don't know how he's missed that one. And even in the studio, they were saying, was his vision blocked by Matt Ritchie's back? I mean, so how much clearer does he want it? Do we need to have his legs only showing? No, I don't buy it. Don't buy it. It was a for sure penalty, but you shouldn't need that in order to beat Portsmouth away from home. I'm sorry, you shouldn't need it. Yeah, John. I mean, Ruffwell came on. Yeah, the free kick at the end. It was just a bad day all round. Absolute horror show. Who else? Who else today? Shall we talk about the goal? No. Let's not talk about the goal. Jean Peru. That's my guy as well. And he fluffed it twice. First of all, the work from Solomon to get the shot off in the first place in that crowded area. Good stuff. Good save from the goalkeeper. But Jean Peru, even on the first time, he didn't need to take a touch. For me, it should have been first time, bang in. He just hit it straight at the goalkeeper. Straight at him. There was nothing for the goalkeeper to do. The goalkeeper was still on the floor. Jean Peru just bounced it off him. Terrible finish. Terrible. And the one in the second half, again from the work from Mano, where he goes around the goalkeeper, pulls it back, Joel just skies it. That is just so unlike him. So unlike him. And I just couldn't believe my eyes when I saw those. And then you're just thinking, it's not going to be our day, is it? It's not going to be our day. Some people talking about the Ogilvy one on Meslier. Yeah, for me, it was probably a yellow card in terms of the danger of the tackle, but he didn't touch him. So for me, it's not a red. But yeah, he probably should have got booked for that. But that I think that goes with the referee's performance today. But yeah, the goal for Portsmouth. Yeah, I mean Nabino. I mean that's saying something. It's probably Firpo was almost okay. Yeah, I mean he also had a decent chance, didn't he? He had a couple. One where he ran in again, the goalkeeper makes a save, and then one where I think his header hit the bar, and then who hit the bar? Someone hit the bar, and then someone just blazed it over or something like that. But yeah. But look, Yeah, Pop saying we couldn't handle the atmosphere. it was bouncing. Give Portsmouth and their fans a credit. They treated it like a real big game today. They treated it like a real big game, and they turned up in the end. They turned up, and we just didn't. Again, another early kickoff one now where we don't get a win. It just adds to them, and we got three more of these as well. By the way, three more. But for me, there's no excuses. We did more than enough with the chances we had in order to put Portsmouth away, but we just didn't do enough. Let me get into the okay. Byram hit the bar. Thank you for that, Richard. Yeah. Paul here saying clown show for their goal. We're going to speak about that now. And William here saying played poorly. These players and Farker to blame. Reading press clippings think they won the league. Mez just tired of him. William, that's all over the place. But yeah, I got you. Let's talk about the goal for Portsmouth. Oh, before we do, actually, Mr. Anthropage just put something up here. Farker sets us up so negatively. What I have noticed with today's one, if you remember in the previous games, we've been playing with a little bit more freedom. We've been playing with a little bit with more shackles off our feet, and we've been better for it. We haven't been playing with so much possession, hitting people on the counter, and it's worked a bit better for us. Today did feel like one of those old plodding performances where it was just pass, pass, pass with no purpose, and we're just waiting to break the opposition down rather than hitting quickly on the counter. It did feel like one of those performances again. Need to go back to a few weeks ago where the football was flowing a little bit more freely. But that I think that will come with a couple of changes to the starting lineup. I do. We absolutely do miss Ampadu, and his importance. This is the thing with Ampadu when he's missing, and it's something that I always say about defenders or defensive midfielders more so. When they're in the team and they're playing well, no one notices them or gives them the full credit they deserve. But when they're out, you're going, that's why we miss him. That's why we miss him. And yeah, of course we miss Ampadu. He's very important, which I've reiterated over and over on this channel. Yeah. So Byram, yeah, had the shot saved. Furbo hit the bar. Yeah, thank you for that. Who's saying drop Strauch? No, I wouldn't drop Pascal. I think he was the least of our problems today. But their goal. Let's get into it now. I won't sidetrack off the goal. Okay, I'm only going to say this once because it's kind of like shouting into a void at this point, but I've put in the poll a few options for you. And at the moment, Meslier, let me just end the poll here. Meslier has got 57% of the vote for who was at fault. Roden and Meslier 27, Roden 13, Strauch 0, as it should, because I don't think Strauch was to blame. But for me, it comes down to Meslier. I'm sorry, it does. Roden, was his positioning perfect? Absolutely not. But when Roden's been asked to push up high, he then has to run back. That ball span away from Roden long before Roden was chasing back. This is where we talk about Meslier being a talking point when there shouldn't be a talking point. That should have just been the goalkeeper coming out, racing against the Portsmouth striker and just clearing the ball out. Simple. You see it in about 10 different matches. Go and watch other football matches today. You'll see other goalkeepers do it. But he hesitated. He stops. He comes. He stops. And it just causes a whole mix-up. And then he's in no man's land for the finish. You know what I mean? It's one of these now where I'm not trying to convince nobody. I don't need to. I know what I've seen. It's just one of these things now where I said at the time, you're going to get this guy that is going to keep on helping us drop points. He wasn't alone today, but the goal, it shouldn't have happened. Yeah, Roden wasn't in a perfect position, but Meslier is there. He should just run out and clear that ball. Clear it. Now, whether he was hesitant because of the first half thing with Ogilvy where he got almost clattered, you got to be brave. Just go and clear the ball. It had already spun away from Joe Roden. Joe Roden was never going to get back in that. Never. So then he comes out a little, comes a little bit, and then pauses, and then the ball's lifted over him. But that's all I'm going to say on it because there's just no point. And the people that love Meslier, the MDL, as I call them, they'll never see any fault with this goalkeeper. But they don't understand that these kind of things shouldn't be talking points. And I've said this so many times through the season where we've had things that are just simple things for a goalkeeper to do or just normal things. and he doesn't do him. And that's why whenever he does make a save or make a clap, the social media team have to highlight it and go the Iceman and Spider-Man. But yeah, is what it is, man. Is what it is. FV White saying here, enough chances to win this game, 3-0, but we fluffed our lines. Yeah. Listen, I'm not putting this all on Meslier today. He was part of it, but the rest of the players today, it was shocking. It was shocking stuff today, honestly. Popsy saying goalkeeper should take control of the situation. Makes no sense. It doesn't. That's what I mean. David here, though, saying he disagrees. Fair enough. Meslier didn't need to clear it. It was a simple pickup. Oh, okay, right. Yep. If we stay down, it's because we didn't change goalkeepers. Yeah, I laugh too, man. Spider-Man, yeah. Spider-Man. Procy with a super chat. Thank you, Proster. I don't think we've been playing good since Watford, but a dip in form was inevitable. I'm just glad it came this early, 10 to go. Yeah. And Proster makes a decent point because there was something that the commentator said, and he was absolutely on the money, by the way. Leeds have done this the past few weeks. They need another. And I spoke about this last week against West Brom. We can't keep on relying on last-minute goals. We can't do it. We cannot keep on relying on late finishes, late heroics, because all that did last week, by the way, or the one that was it against last week, we just can't keep on relying on it. Get the job done early, and we had more than enough good opportunities to do so. We need to be better from the start. Take control of games again and just get it done, because Proster's got a point. It hasn't been good, especially the last two performances. Absolutely woeful for me. Absolutely woeful. Elmi here saying time for Farke to play Ramazani as a 10. Could go to Nanto as a 10. I had it in my starting lineup for this match. Ramazani on the left, Ramazani on the left, Nanto in the 10. And there would have been nothing wrong with that. Keep Peru, Dan James, and you're laughing. The other thing as well, by the way, in terms of the James penalty shout, I do wish our players were a little bit more vocal. It shouldn't have taken that, by the way. The referee was looking directly at it. But it was, for me, I only saw a couple of players like try and get that penalty. It should have been basically half the team at least all stopping the game and saying, hey, what's going on? I wish our team were a little bit more, had a bit more like balls to them to do that. Instead, it was like reminding me of the Bielsa days where it's just respect the referee's decision and move on. Sometimes you have to make the referee doubt himself and go, oh, if all of these people are appealing, it must have been a penalty. And I just wish they'd have a little bit more about that. Bobby here with a super chat here. Aronson is the most nothing player ever. Well, look, I'm not going to go that far, Bobby. I do understand what you're saying in terms of the past few games, but I'm not going to erase what he's done up until like the last few weeks. He has come up in moments. He has been involved in the build-up to goals, whether he gets the direct assist or not. But the point being, he has not been good. We're coming up to nearly 4 games. He has not been good for 4 games, and he should not be guaranteed a starting place. And that is the issue in the team right now, when there's more than capable players to come in and take the spot. More than capable. And people will talk about, I know it's going to happen in the comments, we should have got a 10 in January. Well, we didn't. And Farke said in that instance, Ramazani can play the 10, Solomon can play the 10, Nonto can play the 10 if needs be. Well, it's at the point of it needs be, all right? Aronson's got to come out. And even to a point, Solomon has to come out. Let Ramazani have a run. And let's see if Ramazani can take hold of the shirt and just keep it, for a long time and keep Solomon on the bench. That's the whole point of having the depth we have, unlike what we didn't have last season. Chris is, shout out to you, Chris. A season of mismanagement and trying to change the game with players with little game time. This isn't a blip. It's just like last season, Farke out. Well, if everyone who knows Chris King, knows that he's the Farke out like president. But Chris is right in a sense. Again, we got towards the last 10 minutes of the game, and as we do, we're 1-0 down. We lose a bit of shape as well. Bogle comes off, Byron comes on, but Nonto comes on for Tanaka. So you're already doing that whole throw the kitchen sink at it with Joel Peru and Mateo Joseph on the pitch as well. There's just that isn't a tactic. That's Football Manager. I've said it over and over again. You've got to be a little bit more organized than that. Try doing that in the Premier League, you get killed. Absolutely killed doing that. But it doesn't work a lot in the Championship either. Flying fish here, and this is a little bit of perspective here. The others will drop points over the next 10 fixtures. We just need to take care of our business. And you're right, Flying Fish, absolutely. But these are the kind of games where you do need to take care of business, like the West Brom one last week. But you're absolutely right. It's not just going to be all plain sailing. And I guess being a Leeds fan and Leeds United, we should have expected that as well, that it shouldn't be plain sailing. But you have to talk about the games as they come along. That's what match reactions are. And you're talking about the West Brom game in isolation, and then this one in isolation is poor. We've literally just taken 6 points against our two promotion rivals. And then the next two games, fluffed it. Leedsy. We're never going to escape the tag. It is Leedsy stuff, and we've done it again. Absolutely done it again. William back with a super chat here. Just showing up doesn't get points. Mentality lacking. No killer instinct. We move on. Well, we're going to have to move on. We're going to have to move on. But there is just so much in this game. And again, don't want to take anything away from Portsmouth. They deserve their win overall. If we're a bit more clinical, then we're talking a different thing. If the referee gives a penalty earlier, who knows? But they worked hard for their win today. And in some instances as well, which is embarrassing to say, they outpassed us. Because some of our passes were not penetrating. Some of their passes were getting through. Murphy was cooking today. You'd have thought it was the one from Newcastle. But you know what I mean? It's one of those where I think we could have been playing right now. We could probably be playing in 2 hours and we wouldn't have scored. Wouldn't have scored today. Darren here saying Millwall will be tough game. Will be a tough game now with all the pressure. There's always pressure on this football club, Darren. Always pressure, and you can see it today. Portsmouth absolutely turned their performance up a notch. Oh, by the way, they had a makeshift centre back pairing as well, which makes it even worse. Marlon Pack and Regan Poole. Oh, God. Oh, God. Yeah, we got to throw this one in the bin, people. We got to throw this one in the bin. Absolutely shocking. Shocking. But look, of course, there's going to be pressure. And look, I don't know what the crowd's going to be like on Wednesday, but will it be a little bit tense after the last couple of results? And with Burnley doing what they did against Luton and Sheffield United getting another win, who knows? But the players have got this is on the players. The fans do enough for the players. The fans do more than enough for the players. This is on them to get the job done and get back on track on Wednesday against Millwall at home at Ellen Road, where we should be winning. We should be, but we shall see, people. I know, Paul. I hear you. Marlon Pack feels like he's been around for 20 years. Yeah. And does anyone know if he was a Portsmouth fan when he was younger? I don't know. The commentary team didn't get that across. Yeah, Flying Fish. This is true. Everyone plays above their quality against Leeds. It's the same. Yeah, even the commentator said it today. This isn't biased Leeds fan or an arrogant Leeds fan saying it. It's true that you can't avoid what you visibly see. Teams can be on a terrible run. Players can be on a goalless drought. Then all of a sudden they up their performance against Leeds United. Seen it over and over again. PB saying here, Aronson must start every game to grow and satisfy US-based Leeds fans. I don't think it is that. I think Farker just genuinely trust him for his work off the ball. But I've got to say, people, even his work off the ball in the last few games has been very, very unnoticeable. He's been very, very unnoticeable. It hasn't been that good. It's not like he's been pressing high and winning the ball back in the final third, leading to an attack. He's literally been a ghost on the pitch, and he needs to be dropped. Needs to be dropped. Yeah, and of course, this as well. Burnley and Sheffield United play each other. They absolutely do. Yeah. Marcus is saying, respect KG, must gotta be tough to come on after that. You should see some of the Premier League match reactions in our last stint, Marcus. Those were tough. All right, those were tough. I'm okay. Listen, we're still top at this point. Let me just get the table up. People usually ask for the table. You didn't ask for it today. But we are top. And it does suck. I think, is that our first loss? I know it's our first loss since November, but is that our first loss in 18? You know, just a little perspective on that, but it doesn't matter. I'm trying to give perspective for myself here. I'm talking to myself rather than you guys. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. We cannot be playing Portsmouth twice in the season and not getting anything. Can't, you know, we've got a point. Got a point at Ellen Road. Sorry. Can't be not beating them, honestly. Steve as well saying here, Blades and Clarence also have to play Coventry, who are flying. Yeah. All we got to hope there, Steve, is that we are not just the anomaly for them and that hopefully they can do their thing against Burnley and Sheffield United, because Coventry have been on an absolute tear. Their one defeat was us. We were the anomaly. The rest of the league, they seem to be getting on absolutely fine against. And I've just got to hope that they're the same against Burnley and Sheffield United. Otherwise, Burnley and Sheffield United would also prove that they are a cut above Coventry and get Coventry too. So Let's just hope it's that we are the anomaly. All right. Let's hope for that. Pops here saying still so much to play for. I'm just worried after that one. Let me just say this. I'm not worried, Pops. I'm still fine. I'm still fine. I'm just very frustrated with today. Very frustrated. I'm every right to be. How can you not be frustrated going to Portsmouth and losing? That doesn't make no sense to me if you're not frustrated. I will not just go about my day and go, no, it's frustrating today. But like we said, there's 10 games to go, lot of games to go, lots of ups and downs to come. But we need to stay cemented in this top two. We cannot drop into the top three, into the top six. Cannot do it. Cannot drop into the playoff spots. No, 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 sorry. So let's get this 3 points against Millwall, because you know what's coming next weekend, people? An away trip to QPR. That's the one. I don't know if it's next weekend or if it's the weekend after. Let me just check the fixtures here. Yeah, it's 3 days later. Yeah, yeah. Saturday, 12:30 against QPR. And I already know people have got the heebie-jeebies about QPR because they seem to be a bogey team for us away. Plus, it's an early kickoff. So you know what? Let's get the 3 points against Millwall, and then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, it is next weekend. Yeah, 12:30. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. The thing was, in the match preview as well, I did say the one thing that was concerning me tomorrow wasn't the quality of Portsmouth, it was the 12:30 thing. I don't believe in these things being coincidences. I just don't. And hopefully LUFC data, I don't know if he's going to update his table. Let me just go on and see. I don't believe in coincidences. It's a pattern. This 12:30 thing, this early kickoff, it's a pattern. It's not a coincidence. Oh, he has. Okay. Shout out to UFC data. But these are the cold facts about us at 12:30 kickoffs. Leeds have now just won 2 of our last 13 championship matches that have kicked off at 1:30 or earlier. It's a shocking stat, people. And Farke cannot say, and this is where the journalists will have to dig in the next press conference. Not dig in, but they're going to have to say, Daniel, I know we've spoken about this before, and you've said you don't think it's a concern or something like that. You know, dress it up nicely as you have to do. But surely you've got to look at the early kickoffs and say, are we doing anything different? Today, I don't think it was anything to do with that. It was just poor finishing, poor goalkeeping that have lost us the game. But there is a pattern there. There is, absolutely. Yeah, Max here. Yeah, that's no coincidence. Can't just brush past it. We can't. There has to be something in there in terms of the preparation. Absolutely. Oh, Jawbone here. Peru only scores when the game's done. Oh, I disagree with that, Jawbone. I don't think that's true. I think Peru has gotten us ahead in a few games. You know what? I can't say that for certain, Jawbone. I don't just think he gets garbage goals though. Jawbone's saying that he just gets like empty netters and stuff. Sorry, that's a hockey term. But yeah, no, I don't think so. But it was just poor from Peru today. Hall of shame. No other way to say it. What could we doing wrong? Too big a brekkie. I have no idea, Marcus. I don't know what the preparation is, what the difference is for early and to 3 o'clock. Only Daniel Farker will know that. Darren here, and let me just dispel this. No chance, Darren. Lampard will not throw games against Burnley, Sheffield United just to spite Leeds United. Frank Lampard's got a bigger picture, and that's him. He's got himself to prove. He's got his own reputation to repair after very, very poor jobs done at previous football clubs. He won't be thinking of Leeds United in these matches. He'll be thinking, I want to get over on some of the best teams in the league and get Coventry promoted. That's what he'll be thinking. So I've got zero thought about Lampard throwing the games in the league. He just wouldn't do it. His ego is far too big for that as well. Far too big. Yeah, exactly, Paul. Lampard isn't that bitter. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Was there any other talking points? I think I've covered them all. Look, I will be back with another video, of course. Obviously, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live or when I've uploaded, and we'll speak about what the managers have said. I'm not going to get into on this stream because I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, it's just incredibly frustrating. But people, is it the bigger picture? The most important thing at this point is that we are still top, but the last 2 performances have not been it. And that's the truth. They have not been it at all after 2 excellent results. We need to get back on the winning train, and it needs to be against Millwall this Wednesday, people. Has to be. Guys, get your thoughts in the comments. Please like the video before you go. It really does help out the channel. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.